Hello and welcome. I'm Faith from Faith Links English, where we build English skills for work and connection. If one of your English goals is to be able to speak clearly and confidently, then you're in the right place. Stick around. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever understood every word in a sentence but still felt confused about what a native speaker actually meant? If so, you're not alone. One of the biggest reasons English learners struggle to understand native speakers is phrasal verbs. Native speakers use them every day in conversations, at work, while traveling, and even in simple text messages. By the end of this video, you will know 5 phrasal verbs that native speakers use every day and exactly how to use them yourself. Let's get started. Let's begin with the first one on my list, which is take over. Yes, take over means to take control of something or to start doing a job or responsibility that someone else was doing. For example, my colleague is on vacation, so I'll take over her task this week. Or a larger company took over the business last year. This phrasal verb is very common, especially in business settings. Instead of saying, I will assume responsibility for the project, most people simply say, I'll take over the project, which sounds much more natural. Now, the next I have here is take up. Yes, take up has a few meanings, but one of the most common is to start a new hobby, activity, or interest. For example, I recently took up jogging, or we could say she took up Spanish classes last year. Now, another meaning is to occupy space or time. For example, this project is taking up most of my day. Native speakers use this expression all the time. And phrase number 3 is come up with. This is one of my favorite phrasal verbs. Come up with means to think of an idea, solution, or plan. For example, we need to come up with a better solution. Or we could say, he came up with a brilliant marketing idea. Notice that native speakers rarely say we need to create an idea. They usually say we need to come up with an idea. This is one of those expressions that instantly makes your English sound more natural. Now the next here is get over. Yes. Get over means to recover from something difficult. This could be an illness, disappointment, failure, or emotional situation. For example, it took me several weeks to get over the flu. Or, she eventually got over losing her job. Native speakers use this expression constantly when talking about challenges and recovery. Now, the next one I have here is get along with. Get along with means to have a good relationship with someone. For example, I get along well with my colleagues. Or someone could ask you, do your children get along with each other? This is far more common in conversation than saying, I have a good relationship with my colleagues. It's simple and natural. Get along with. Now, why are phrasal verbs so important? Many English learners focus heavily on grammar. Don't get me wrong, grammar is important. But phrasal verbs are one of the keys to sounding more natural. When native speakers talk, they don't carefully choose formal textbooks words. They use practical expressions like come up with, take over, get along with, and hundreds of others. Now, the more familiar you become with these expressions, the easier your conversations become. One mistake many learners make is trying to memorize long lists of phrasal verbs. They learn 100 expressions, then forget 95 of them. And that's why I created my guide differently. My guide isn't just a list of phrasal verbs. Now, for each phrasal verb, I explain the different meanings, when to use it, real life examples, workplace examples, practice exercises, and quick learning tips. The goal is not simply to recognize phrasal verbs. The goal is to actually use them confidently in conversations. If you can learn and use just a few phrasal verbs each week, you begin noticing them everywhere. In conversations, in movies, in podcasts, in workplace communication, and that's when your English starts sounding more natural. I'd love to know, which of these phrasal verbs do you hear most often? Let me know in the comments. And if you'd like to learn 20 essential phrasal verbs with clear explanations, practical examples, workplace scenarios, and exercises, check out my guide using the link in the description. You can also join my free English learning community where I share tips, speaking challenges to help you improve your English consistently. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. And if you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe now so you can get notified whenever I post new video.